We spoke briefly going into the last break about Kell Brook, of course, who's had some great times in the world of boxing, but some pretty indifferent times as well. And of course, back in January this year, a video surfaced online showing Kell seemingly snorting white powder at his home amongst a gathering of people. He apologised. He admitted he was struggling with retirement and was now back in the gym and maybe wanted to return to the fight game. Earlier this morning, I spoke to Kell, and first off, and maybe most relevantly of all, I simply said to him, how was he?
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely unbelievably well. I got the help I needed. You know, I'm still doing the things I need to do every day, gratitude list, you know, I'm going to the gym. I'm being there, I'm on time. I'm just excited to go to sleep and wake up and start the day, you know, in sobriety.
Kell, the video that was leaked online didn't do you any favours. How come it was leaked online?
Because there's rats out there, you know, there's rats and the usual suspects, you know. You don't really think you're, friends, but it shows you that people are out there what want to do that. I want to just ruin you, you know. But for me, it's the best thing what could have happened, you know. It's the best thing because, you know, the world knows now and the weight's off my shoulders, you know, instead of just being a fighter and dealing with this depression and the lowest, you know, you can ever imagine. I've got the help that I need, you know. You don't train for a fight on your own. You need a trainer, you need strength and conditioning, you need a nutritionist, and I know that now. You know, I've got the help and I'm speaking to the right people.
And is that help ongoing, Kell?
That help is ongoing, you know, and I'm enjoying it so much. I'm enjoying reaching out, helping others. You know, I'm helping others as well, and it gives me so much joy.
Good to hear that you've handled this so positively, because I think a lot of people were worried about you. You've got a lot of fans out there, and you know that.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, you know, once I put a post up on social media, I got nothing but love. You know, nothing but love in it. It really warmed me out, and it gave me that desire and everything to continue to be how I am today, you know, in sobriety and clean and sober.
You're not the first boxer to struggle somewhat, Kell, when you don't fight anymore. And has that been at the root of it?
It has it, because since I've been 9-year-old, all I've ever done is gone to the gym and train and won so badly to become world champion and live my dream. And I've conquered that, you know. I've been in with the very best, and I've beat my rivals in Amir Khan. You know, I completed the book, you know, and at that stage of my life, you know, I decided to retire. But, you know, people they train you to become world champion, but nobody tells you how to deal with life after boxing, you know, after your life, you know, everything, what you give to the game. Nobody tells you how to deal with this, you know, everyday life again. You know, because nobody's telling you to pony up and saying get down to the gym twice a day. You know, it's basically you're on your own, and it's been a struggle. But I found myself.
Well done, though, Kell. Well done for reaching out, and well done for fighting it, because it's a tough fight away from the ring, I'm sure. I'm going to talk about the future in a second, Kell, but when you looked at that video online afterwards, as I'm sure you've done, did you feel that you yourself had tarnished your own reputation?
Yeah, you know, straight away, as soon as I seen it, you know, I felt absolutely physically sick. And I was thinking about my little daughters, you know, picking them up from school, you know, seeing parents, you know, I felt so ashamed. I felt so ashamed, you know, that fans have seen that, and the young fighters coming through as I'm a role model, and seeing me doing stuff like that, you know, it were very hard for me to digest. But I gathered myself and I reached out, and I'm on the right path now.
So come on then, mate, tell me. Life without boxing, it's difficult for you. So are you going to fight again? Is this what you want to do?
I think I've just been pushed and prodded, you know, by a fellow we all know now as Conor Benn. You know, a fighter's a fighter. You know, it's always in me, you know. You know, I love the challenges. I'd love to show this young Ben, you know, what time it is. You know, but obviously we've got to sit down with his boss, Eddie Hearn, and his manager, and come up with my service fee, which is going to be quite decent, mate.
I mean, you're prepared, Kell, are you, to put in everything it takes in terms of physical preparation, get yourself back mentally? You feel that if you were to end up in the ring with Conor Benn, that you could beat him?
I do, yeah. You know, this is my game. You know, I know I've done it many times before. You know, I know how to put myself in that prison and just completely and utterly give myself to the sport and put everything into it. And I obviously know in my heart, and I do believe that I would, you know, beat Conor Benn. I am still, in my mind, the best welterweight, like middleweight out there, you know, definitely in Britain anyway. And like I said, you know, if we sit down and I do get that excitement again and I take my carpet slippers off and put my trainers back on, you know, we can see me running them roads again, maybe.
That was former IBF welterweight champion Kell Brook speaking to me a short time ago. Spencer's with Simon and myself. Spencer Oliver, how did he sound to you?
Yeah, listen, he's a really infectious person, Kell Brook. He's a lovely, lovely guy. I'll say that first of all. You know, we all know what happened to him in recent times and how much he's been struggling with retirement, life after boxing, because it's very difficult. You know, these guys have been doing it since they were young kids, probably 7, 8, 9 years of age, and that's all he's done. Slept boxing, you know. That's his life. So he struggled to find direction with it, and you know, a lot of people throw that word mental health around, and it's thrown around quite freely, but he's a real advocate of mental health, Kell Brook. He's struggled really badly with it, and yeah, he can't find any sort of direction. I think that's why he wants to box again. That's why I spoke to him yesterday on the phone, by the way. I spoke to him in depth yesterday, and he sounded really good and really upbeat, and that's because I think he's got the idea of getting back in the ring and boxing Conor Benn again, and you know, and it's give him some sort of motivation, some sort of reason to get up in the morning. He's like,
is that in his
I was
best
speaking
interest
to you,
to box
Simon,
again?
about it, wasn't I? It was like, it's in his best interest to box again because he can't find anything else to do. He's really struggling with that. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Simon. You know, maybe talking to others about mental health and going out there and doing those sort of speaks, you know, might help him a little bit as well. I mean, I really don't know what,
he's
what
got
the
to
answer
help
is.
himself.
He's going to have to find some peace somewhere because he's going to be a long... Even if he comes back now, he's going to have to accept that sooner rather than later his boxing career is going to come to an end. So he's got to find, as difficult as it may be, he's got to find the direction. He doesn't... The idea that he needs to be told to go to the gym, and that fact he's no longer being told to go to the gym because there's no end product for a fight at the end of it. He can't be told what to do in life. He's a father himself. He's got to find his own direction.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Listen, when we've got the members of the royal family writing about their drug abuse, I don't necessarily think that he should walk around hanging his head in shame. I think he should look at himself and say, perhaps I've let myself down and I don't particularly want my children to follow that particular example.
I think that's exactly what he
people
does
make
think.
mistakes. So when it won't help his mental health condition to be steeped in being ashamed. People make choices and they make mistakes. If currently the pathway to get him back onto an equilibrium is to fight again, and he's fit enough to do so, then I suppose that may well be a solution for him. But notwithstanding, he's still going to have to deal with that inner demon. And it's a difficult one. I've seen superstars of sport that come out of those massive highs, and also, of course, using high in the context of achievement in a ring, right? And then there's nothing left, and it doesn't. Everything else diminishes. And it's one of those things that people don't really understand. High-end footballers come away out of life and there's no more football stadiums, no more adoration, no more autographs, no more interest, and that does come with its own challenges. But I mean, I would suspect that if Kell's got the mental fortitude to have achieved the things that he's achieved in the ring, and some of the things that he won, Sean Porter and those sort of fights, he can do it outside the ring too.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.